this For All Rubrics system. So today we're going to dig into that a little bit deeper and actually get you logged in and up and running. To learn more about it, you can go to our website, just go to the Parent tab, and then go to the Reporting and Feedback piece right underneath that. Here you'll see the pamphlet, the folder that we sent home with you to your families so that they could learn more about the program. But I'm just going to run through this really quickly with you before we actually log in and get going. This orange piece is just talking about what student workflow is going to look like, and your teachers are going to dictate that to you in each of your individual classrooms. But in general, it's probably going to look like this. You're going to get most of your work from Google Classroom. So you all know that Google Classroom is just a digital classroom, and instead of getting hard copies of papers, you can get digital copies of those papers, and they're your own copy. What's really nice about that is it organizes everything for you in your Google Drive. So you don't have to worry about coordinating which files go where. Google Classroom and the whole Google platform is really nice because we can collaborate, teachers can give you feedback, but then we can also go ahead and share that with a larger population of people. Your work can go one of two places, and your teacher is going to tell you where it needs to be turned in. If it's a smaller formative piece, like a practice or an exit slip, that might just get turned in through Google Classroom. If it's something that's going to require feedback, or it's a larger summative piece or larger formative piece, chances are it's probably going to go into this For All Rubrics platform that we've been talking about. In there, that's where you're going to get your feedback from your teacher. That's where you're going to see what your proficiency levels are, and that's where we're going to get the information to help us update our continuums. Our continuums this year are also going to be housed in For All Rubrics. So if you were around last year, you know that there was a lot of bouncing around through different documents, through different Google Classrooms. We're going to avoid that problem now because of the For All Rubrics tool. The video here is also going to cover how to log in and what each of the buttons in For All Rubrics do. However, if you come back and you visit this page, there's a how-to document here that'll kind of review everything that I'm about to talk about. This is probably what you're going to need to review the most. What is your username and what is your password? But again, I'll talk about that here in this video. So let's just go ahead and look at what it looks like to log in right away. I'm just going to review some of these pieces, and then we're going to all log in together, and we're going to start submitting some of our first continuums. So when you log in, this is what you're going to see. There's a lot here, but that's because this is basically a stream of all of your classes and all the work from those classes on one page. If you want to go ahead and see what are all of your classes and assignments that might be overdue, you just come up here and you click this Overdue tab, and it'll filter it down for you. Not quite as much to look at. If you want to filter by class and see what's going on in each of your individual classes, you're going to come over here, click the drop-down menu, and select the class that you want to look at. You can see that it filters down quite a bit, makes it a lot easier to see. So I'm just going to run through what each of these things mean from left to right. You might see a checkbox. This might be a checklist. So if you're working on a large project, there's multiple steps in that project, we might use a checklist to show your progress through those steps. It also might be a simple check-in or check-out. So did you turn your permission slip in that's essential for the field trip that you're going on, or not? If you see a grid like this, that means there's a rubric attached. If you want to see what the rubric is, you just come over here and you click on this little I for information, and it pulls up the rubric. It'll tell you what the standard you're working on is and what each of the performance descriptors are, how to earn 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th grade proficiency levels. You'll also see if your work is incomplete or maybe needs some revision. Over here you can see what the class name is and what the assignment name is. So you might see Science 1.2, so you know it's from Unit 1 and it's Activity 2. Depending on what the naming scheme of your class is, it might differ from class to class. Moving to the right here, we can see what all of our due dates are. This is also color-coded. If it's gray, I know that I not only submitted it on time, but it's also been graded. If it's yellow, it either means that the due date is still outstanding, meaning I haven't met my deadline yet, or I might be turning it in, but waiting for it to be graded. If it's red, it means that the due date has been passed. I'm either submitted and still waiting for it to be graded, or in this case down here you can see that there's a blue plus sign. That means that action is needed. I have not yet submitted that assignment. It has not obviously been graded, and it's overdue because this was due on September 4th, and today is Monday, September 18th. If I want to see what overdue assignments I have in this class itself, I can go over here, filter it down by just clicking the overdue tab. This column here is telling me have I submitted or not. If I have a green check mark, that means I've submitted the assignment. If not, if I have this blue plus symbol, that means I still need to submit. All I need to do to submit an assignment is click the blue plus, enter the title of my assignment. So here I might say Science 1.2. And this is something that's going to be unique to this year, something new that we're implementing across the entire school. For all of your assignment turn-ins, we're going to be asking you to write a reflective entry. Research shows that students who are reflective in their work also retain that information better. We're going to be providing you with some sentence stems to help you with submitting a reflection. So you might submit, today I was successful with ... but I want to continue to work on . You might fill those blanks in for yourself. To submit this assignment, you can either upload a file from Notability, from your camera roll if you take a picture of it, or directly from your Google Drive. So this is really nice in that it's integrated with Google, very easy to submit your assignments that way. Over here we can see if the assignment has been graded or not. All I need to do is look for the green check mark, and then go ahead and click on that check mark to see what the feedback is. So here it's telling me that the assignment I turned in was either incomplete or it needs revision. So I need to go back and I need to work on that again. There's also a place down here in some instances where if your teacher provided written comments, you can view those written comments and see what the feedback is. There's another portion of this called My ePortfolio. Again, you can filter My ePortfolio by your class name. But in My ePortfolio, it's basically your digital binder. So up here I can see the assignment name, but then I can go ahead and I can click on the document that I submitted. I can go to that document and see what it was that I submitted and what it was that earned the grade that I received. So that's really neat because you can go back and you can look at your work over time, and it's also very transparent for your parents. They can go in and they can see, hey, Johnny earned 8th grade proficiency. That's excellent. What did he do to earn that? Let's take a look. So communication from teachers to students to parents is going to be a lot easier now. One thing that we're also really excited about that you might see in your pathways classes and here at the end of STEAM rotations is this idea of badging. So we wanted to find a way to recognize you for the excellence that you do in your classes, and we think that badges would be a great way of doing it. Programs like Scouts have been doing it for almost 100 years, and they've found a ton of success, and there's a lot of pride in the Scouts for earning badges. So these badges will go ahead and tell you when you've either mastered a specific skill, maybe you've passed your road safety course in the cycling STEAM project, maybe you passed your lab safety course in science. You might earn a badge for those types of things. Again, we're going to be piloting that program in Pathways and in STEAM this year, and maybe roll into our other classes later in the year. Eventually, hopefully, we'll build this thing called My Badge Board. And your badge board will basically be your digital sash where you can see all of the badges that you've earned over time. A really nice way to showcase your learning and the skill set that you have. A cool feature of it will be able to go to my timeline, and I can see over time what badges you've earned, when you earned them, and then your reflections on them if I click on it. Kind of a neat tool that will definitely help us lead our conversations with parents during student parent conferences. Another cool feature about all of this is that I can go ahead and I can personalize my account by clicking on the picture. I can go ahead and I can choose a profile picture for myself. It gives it a little bit of a personal touch. One thing that we ask you do not do is enter and change a password. I will go ahead and I'm going to change it back if you do change it, but that just creates extra work for myself or for your parents, because your parents are going to be using the same login that you have. So please don't go in and change your password. Alright, so that's kind of the basic walkthrough. Let's now get to a point where we can all log in together and start submitting a couple of assignments that you already have uploaded into your For All Rubrics account. So for all of you, your login is going to be the same as the first part of your email address. So I'm going to log in as a student here. So it's that first part of your email address with the 3 numbers that follow. And then your password is going to be STEM with a capital S and a lowercase t-e-m. So capital S, lowercase t-e-m. And then your lunch code or your student ID number. You should be able to log in. Awesome. So this is your first time logging in. And the only thing that you're going to be enrolled in is a class that I, Mr. Hill, have created called Learner Continuums. And your Learner Continuums class is going to be also listed over here. But it's where you're going to be able to find all of your continuums, your personal success rubrics and continuum, and then also your map score tracking document, so we can track your map scores a little bit more easily. Today you're going to be going ahead and submitting your continuums in here so that they're housed in the proper place. That's what we're going to be doing for the next 10 minutes or so. As you can see, these are all checklists. So we're going to simply be checking, are they completed or not? There's no rubric attached to it. A checklist kind of looks like this. Okay? So if you were to go and look, you submitted something, and then I graded it, you would see that, yep, you submitted the right thing, and there's a check mark there. Alright, so how do we actually go about doing this? So here I can see that I need to submit my science continuum here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click the blue button, and I'm going to title it Science Continuum. Now remember, I said that it is a required field to submit an entry, a reflection for all of your assignments that you turn in through here. Now because these are continuums and they're blank, at this point in time we're not actually going to submit an entry. Okay? But we have to put something in there. So just go ahead and put a dash for now so that it's filled in. And then I need you to go to your Google Drive. It might pop up a folder saying, do you want it to allow to connect to Google Drive? And you're just going to go ahead and say yes. Come up to your Google Drive and search Science Continuum and your name, and then put the letters Pub 2017. Okay, find the document that we're looking for, the Science Continuum, and we need the one that says Pub 2017 because some of our continuums have been edited by our teachers, and we're going to be using something a little bit different than what you might have used last year if you're a 7th or an 8th grader. So again, your name, the continuum you're looking for, and these letters Pub 2017. Just go ahead and select that. You'll see that it's connected here, and then hit Submit Assignment. Okay. Now it's bringing me to my ePortfolio, and I was showing you that you can go ahead and you can click on those assignments and see what you actually submitted. So that's what I've done, and I see that my science continuum is properly linked in. Okay, you don't need to check all of them by clicking that. Go back to my assignments and work on the next one. The next one is your math continuum, so on and so forth. Again, just looking and searching in that Google Drive. Okay. Over here, we'll be able to use the checklist to check whether it's been submitted or not. Your advisor will be checking those things off for you. All right. The only other thing that you're going to need to know, because you're going to start enrolling in your different classes and getting assignments assigned to you through For All Rubrics in your different classes after today, to join a class, you're just going to go to that drop-down menu, click Join a Class, and your teacher is going to give you a class code, just like in Google Classroom. You're going to enter that class code, and that class will then pop up in this drop-down menu. I hope you guys enjoy using this. I think it'll make our workflow and our communication a lot better. And I think overall it'll be a lot better for you to build a portfolio of your learning, something that will help you with your academic and career planning and with building a resume. Have a good rest of your day. Please ask me if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help.